Hi everybody, my name is Marta Mama. I'm your basic queer bitch, and I'm here to talk about Drag Race Mexico! Woo! Okay, so I'm gonna try to do these reviews. You know, I work crazy hours and I'm always super busy, but if I have to wake up at 6 a.m. Just to live this experience with you guys, I'm gonna do it because you guys are very cool and there's literally no one around me I can talk with about this. So yeah, I don't want to miss you after Drag Race España, so that's what we're gonna do. But disclaimer, I am not from Mexico. I've never been to Mexico. I know nothing about Mexican culture and Mexican folklore and all the references, but I am going to try. I know that you guys don't need me to explain the references, but that's how my brain works. I don't know how to do reviews in any other way. So I have to go after after the episode and study every single reference and everything. So, if I get anything wrong, please tell me in the comments. I really want to learn about Mexico and its culture. So, this is just going to be me sharing what I learn about Mexico and about Mexican drag through Drag Race Mexico with all of you. So before we start, I want to say thank you to the people that sent me PayPals. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means the world to me. Thank you to Melissa, thank you to Teresa, thank you to Susan, and thank you to Nick. I love you. So I do know a little bit about Mexican drag because I've always found it so fascinating. They are so into drag. Mexican people really love drag to a whole different level. If you haven't watched like La Más Draga, or if you haven't seen any of these TV shows that they had before Drag Race Mexico, maybe you should, because you can really see that the people take it to a whole different level and the drag means something different there. So I'm fascinated. I really liked the first episode, even though there's a couple of things that I didn't like. But yeah, let's get with the entrances. First out is Pixie, and this is a queen I was familiar with. I thought that she probably had the best look from all of them. You can see that she has been doing drag for a very long time and that she really knows her aesthetic. She is the mother from the house of black and white, and yeah, she is a legend, and you can really tell. I love the confidence and how intentional everything in her outfit is. Sometimes drag queens do yeah, this is good enough. Yeah, what can I wear with this? Yeah, is this good enough? Yeah, okay. No, everything is thought out from head to toe. I love a professional queen. I love Pixie. 10 out of 10. Serena Morena is the next one out, and she comes out in orgasms, and yeah, I like drag queens that don't take themselves too serious. So I liked that. I liked Serena Morena's energy throughout the whole episode. This look I wasn't too amazed by. It's inspired in Sailor Moon, but I feel I just saw Pixie's look, and maybe this one didn't help me understand 100% who Serena Morena is, and maybe it didn't match her energy 100%. I don't know, I was a little bit confused by the look, but herself in general, her energy, I really like. Next one out is Margaretilla. I already knew this queen too, and she's amazing. Her personality, and she's super sweet and kind of conceptual in a way. And yeah, everyone knows Margaretilla there. I like this queen very much, and she was wearing something glamorous but kind of simple. And I don't want to hear any of you guys talking about Trixie makeup. Stop saying Trixie makeup to anything that has white under the eye, please. She didn't invent that shit. But yeah, she is very well known. I love her energy. She's so sweet. I love I don't know, everything about her. Vermeilla Noir comes out, and well, she was a little bit like too much, like the energy, like stop, calm down. But when she came out and she was walking, like it made the dress move in a very, very cool way, and I thought that was very interesting. But then she started like screaming, being the center of attention a little bit. You know, drag queens are supposed to be the center of attention, but it just felt a little bit annoying. She is Pixie's daughter. She's from the same house, so that's cool. I like when there's like a real life bond behind the queens. Regina Voce comes out. I know this queen from Queen of the Universe. She is a singer, and there's things I liked and things I didn't like. The entrance outfit I didn't like in general. Like, it was not only too simple, but I don't know. I didn't really like it. I think that if you took the top, because it's not a dress, it's a two-piece, and you really cropped it and you use that fabric to make something very cool with the sleeves, that would have been a lot better, like showing some skin in the two-piece and making it a little bit more modern. I don't know. The wig was kind of, I don't know. I wasn't too into this look, but by the way she walks, like she has a presence that you can say like, oh, this is an experienced queen. And that's something like you cannot really learn. You cannot really explain. You either have it or you don't. And that is something that I really, really like about a queen. Miss Vallarta, this was one of my favorite entrance looks just because it's stupid. And as you know, I am stupid as well, and I love stupid drag. So I think she usually like paints her whole skin in a specific color, and she's all pink. So she is dressed up as a tourist. She has the Hawaiian shirt and like a camera and cargo shorts. And the pink skin is like the sunburn, because in Spain it happens too, and in Mexico I'm sure it happens too. Like they make fun of tourists because they're usually like super, super pale. I am way more pale than any tourist that I have ever seen, but you know, it's like the thing. And the moment that the sun hits their skin, they're completely pink and they look like a shrimp. Yeah, so she was like doing that, and I thought that was like genius, fun. This is a look that is not going to get critiques specifically. So for these looks, I need something that really lets me know you, because there's not going to be like a specific reward for a crazy good look, you know? So I think I like truly understand just in 1 second who she is, and yeah, I liked it. So next is Lady Quero, and they all say that she represents like folklore. I'm super interested in that because I want to learn a lot about Mexican folklore. This look was, I think, medium. They say that they do stand-up comedy as well, so I'm interested to see that. Next one is Argenis, and she's dressed up as a chameleon in theory. This is like a bodysuit with spikes and a tail. I wasn't a big fan of the fabric choice. I think it made it look a little bit slightly cheap. We just had Visa in Drag Race España do her chameleon from like Barcelona, Well Park, and I really liked how she did that, so I think I have that in the back of my mind. But yeah, interesting. Okay. Then is Christian Peralta. Christian Peralta has the same name in and out of drag, which I think is kind of iconic because, you know, it means a lot also. She is so stunning. She is so beautiful. You can, like, the outfit that she was wearing was kind of like Kylie Minogue a little bit. I love the, like, simple hair, but with the strike of diamonds, not diamonds, you know, little stones. But it's that again, it's the confidence of like the grind and the hustle, and you really know that she's an experienced queen. I love the fact that he is a family man, that he's a lesbian, but yeah, I love that because I think that there's a lot of people that do drag that have children. Hey, I have children, I do drag, so there's something about, you know, the hustle, the struggle. that I really connect with, because when you're a family person, you don't have the same life as most of the drag queens, and you see a lot of, I don't know, young people with parents that come from money and they live with their parents and they just do drag and they buy expensive stuff and work once a month, and that's not always everyone's reality. This person has to provide for his whole family, for his daughter and for his wife, and that there's something there, like, you know, how confident someone is and how much someone really needs it. I am so fascinated by Kristen Peralta, one of my favorites. I love. Next is Galavaro. I also knew Gala, and yeah, like, the other girls in the room don't feel too excited about Gala being there, it looks like. But yeah, she's another one that is a little bit too much. That she was dressed up as a thief, nothing too crazy. I don't know if I really know Galavaro with this look specifically, but yeah, I think she's going to be like a great personality in the competition. And the last one is probably my favorite out of the bunch, with Pixie and Kristen Peralta. The last one is Matraca, Matraca Traca. By the way, matraca means, you know, the little object, wooden object that she has in her hand, that when she moves it, it's like taka, 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 taka. We have that here. Those are called matracas, and it's used just to make noise. You would take it maybe, I don't know, to a football match. So instead of like applauding all the time, you would just do this, and it's a lot of noise, and that's what matraca means. And it's an onomatopoeic word, so the word comes from the sound that the thing makes. Matraca. Isn't it cool? I love how the word sounds. And she comes out like, I don't know a lot about Mexican folklore, but I can tell that she uses Mexican folklore in a way that I'm familiar with the Spanish folklore, that is like a reinterpretation through modern ideas of aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that this is like the bandana prints, like traditional prints around, all patchwork together, the pom-poms in the head, but it's all in a very like different new way. I am so fascinated by this type of drag. You know, it's the type of drag that I'm most attracted to in Spain. So yeah, super cool. I love her energy. I love her like out of drag. I really understand what she's doing with drag immediately, and I'm super drawn to that. Then we have the little scene with Lolita Banana and Valentina. So I'm gonna take this moment, even though I'm like gonna get ahead of myself, to explain what I think about these two hosts in the episode. So Valentina, of course we love, of course she's a legend, of course, and I think she's doing a good job. I think that her Spanish wasn't that good before, and she has probably had like a trainer or something, or maybe she has learned her lines very well, but I don't know if it's the language or it's her constant strive of perfection that she doesn't really feel natural. Lolita Banana, on the other side, I am such a fan of Lolita Banana. Like, her moment shaving her head is like, I still get goosebumps. I'm so into like real performative art on stage. I'm just fascinated by Lolita Banana. But she is way more natural, because when you don't completely dominate a language, it is very, very difficult to just let go and express yourself. Like, I don't know, my English isn't perfect. I haven't lived in the US for like 26, 27 years or something. I was 9 years old when I moved to Spain, and I haven't been there since. So my English is not as good as it was when I was 9 years old. It's just a matter of feeling comfortable in the language. You don't have to say everything perfectly, but I want to see her be more cheeky, be more natural. She's always like the perfect Mrs. Mexico, and I miss a little bit of like a more relaxed feeling from Valentina, where she can show her emotions and herself and her personality. I'm loving Lolita, 10 out of 10. Valentina, I think, is like is going to warm up and she's going to be more comfortable in her skin. The mini challenge was a photo shoot where they had to dress up as a piñata, and they did it like, I guess that they asked the queens to bring these outfits, but we don't really get to see the outfits that well because they just hang them and, you know, they do the crazy things for the photo shoot. I don't know if the outfits were taken into account. It was a little bit chaotic because, I don't know, like, Galavaro had like a little wardrobe malfunction with her like lady balls and slipping out, and I don't know. And the thing that the little swing they were hanging from, for most of them, in the moment that they were lifted up in the air, it would turn around, so they were giving the back to the camera. And I guess that wasn't intentional, that they hadn't tried, but none of them knew how to turn around. So it was super, super awkward. The winner was Margaretilla. I understand that that the photo shoot was fun. She had a reveal, but she was giving her back to the camera during that reveal. So the photo that they chose wasn't especially amazing because her legs were flexed, so her figure looked very weird. But I guess that what they were judging was not that one final photo, but more of like how you behave yourself in a photo shoot and if you know what you're doing. So by the way, she won 8,000 pesos. That's around 1,000 euros. And the total prize for the winner is basically the same prize as in Drag Race España. They win 550,000 pesos. That is basically 30,000 euros. That's the same as the winner of Drag Race España. It does feel like it should it be like 500K because it's like a round number, but it feels okay if they're like the same amount of money. So one thing I was very confused about this episode is that the maxi challenge is the runway. Like, where is the maxi challenge really? I don't know. I think we have 1 hour long episode. It should be long enough. And maybe make a shorter mini challenge, but have an actual challenge. If you're going to do a challenge, like a maxi challenge that is a runway, you're going to do just one look, like at least 2 or 3, right? I think it's the first time that we see a maxi challenge that is just the runway. So I don't know. I'm not super like into looks specifically. So I don't know how I feel about that. I loved the workroom conversation between Pixie Pixie and Christian Peralta. I can tell that the director was the same from Drag Race España season 1 and 2, just because of the energy with the workroom conversations. Christian was talking about, the struggle of being a family man, of being a father, and having to provide just with drag, and how much fight that really means, and the support that they have from their wife and their child. And I feel very connected to that storyline. So yeah. And Pixie Pixie gets super, super emotional. It seems like her dad passed away right before they started filming. I was heartbroken how she tells the story that her father had lent her 5,000 pesos that she needed to pay a designer, and he said, "You don't have to pay me back because I trust you, I believe you." And half an hour later, he passed away. I was devastated. Wow, it's actually good that they explain these context things in the first episode, I think, because for both of them, but especially for Pixie Pixie, it gives us a lot of context about where she is mentally. And I don't know, I really like that part of the episode. So let's go with the runway / maxi challenge. Lolita Banana and Valentina look amazing. I love that they did the CoverGirl song for the runway twice. They gave each other a moment. I love what Valentina was wearing, because even though I know nothing about like Mexican folklore, it felt very folkloric but very modern at the same time. And Lolita Banana, I loved her headpiece. Gorgeous. It also felt folkloric but modern in a way. And I especially loved the oversized bow that she had. If you're going to do an oversized bow, you need to do it this way. Put a very thick interfacing or put some foam or something that is going to make it stand out like that. Because if not, giant bows are usually like super floppy. I love these two looks. I love their energy. 10 out of 10. We get to know one of the judges, that is Oscar Madrazo. What Wikipedia says is that he was like a model and a TV personality, and I think he was one of the judges in Mexico's Next Top Model. So, you know, the type of TV personality that is usually on the judges panel for things like this. And the guest judge this week was Cristian Chavez, and he is from the TV show Rebelde and the music group RBD, Rebelde also. This was something that was huge in Spain in the mid-2000s. I was a little bit too old already to be a fan of Rebelde, but I am familiar with all of this, and I'm familiar with him. So the runway category is my land, mi tierra, my hometown, where I come from, my roots. Love the category. I think it tells us a lot about Mexico, but them and, you know, all of that. I love it. First one out is Miss Vallarta. Miss Vallarta is from Puerto Vallarta, and she is representing this statue that they have of a seahorse in Puerto Vallarta. This was a copper statue, but this is the teal color that copper rusts into. So in general, it was very cool, but I did understand the critiques. I think the problem is that because she was all in this like bluish teal color, you couldn't really see the seahorse that well. Maybe if it was sticking out a lot more, or if it was a lot bigger, or if it was a total different color from the rest of her skin, you could really appreciate it a lot more. But there was no contrast, and you couldn't see it at a first glance. So I don't know. The original statue has like a little boy riding the seahorse. Maybe she could have camped it out with that. Seeing how campy and funny was her entrance look, I think that she could have done more. And I do agree with Lolita Banana with the hair. You know, these, you know, sculptoric, like the architecture of the wigs, and it does look like the copy of the copy of the copy, because it's not that spectacular anymore. We have had like 3 years where every single wig was in this style. Maybe if it had strands of hair from a different color, you could really see the architecture. But in general, it felt like super flat, kind of. Even though it was going up, it made her head look flat for some reason. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But I don't know. I love Miss Vallarta, and I was kind of sad. Regina Voce had one of the looks that I liked the least this runway, to be honest, because I think it was, not that it was too busy. I think that from an artistic standpoint, there's a problem when your concept is everything but the kitchen sink. She put, like, her skirt is the map of Ciudad de Mexico, and her corset is, like, look at how cool this museum is. It's called Museum Sumaya, and the pattern that it has is like absolutely stunning, very, very modern, very futuristic. And she just put it like in a rectangle in her corset. It didn't really go that well. The map was lighting up, and then she had like silver wings because she was representing El Ángel de la Independencia, the independence angel that you have in Ciudad de Mexico, which is actually golden. I don't know, there's like a problem. You know, when people go to a tattoo artist and they say that they want like a pocket watch and a dragon and an infinite symbol and some geometric flowers, and they try to put 800 concepts into one thing, it never looks good. I think that you should like stick with something. I think that the idea of the Museum Sumaya was so amazing that she could have done something super futuristic, interesting, with like the concept and like the shape of the whole museum, maybe like a huge headpiece. I don't know, but this did not look good. I didn't like it whatsoever. Then Serena, who is from Aguascalientes, comes out as the San Marcos National Fair, and her hands are supposed to be two roosters that are fighting. That's like something traditional there. I would say that is barbaric, but we still have bullfighting here in Spain, so, But I didn't really like the wig. I didn't really like the dress because I didn't understand, or it wasn't explained to me if the dress or the head had anything to do with Aguascalientes and her region. I think it was only the gloves being like roosters. If that's going to be the focal point, make it a lot more exaggerated. Make it campy. Make them look more like roosters. And when she was exiting the runway, like half of the feathers from one of the roosters fell. I thought this was like incomplete. I thought that dress and that hair could have been like any look for any runway, and that the only focal points were the gloves, and that wasn't like that amazing. It was creative. It was a creative solution. I was just like expecting more. So Cristian Peralta is from Jalisco in Guadalajara, and she comes out in this like balloon-shaped dress, and she's supposed to be like traditional jars from her region of Tlaquepaque, and she looked very confident. It looked cool. It was, a little bit shapeless, obviously. And then she reveals, and the judges lose their shit. Okay, so I think it is not because of just the gag. Sometimes we abuse a little bit reveals, and people don't do like good reveals, but this was a very, very good reveal because it was so smooth. You can see that she has practiced this because it was absolutely flawless, smooth, super quick. This is how a reveal is supposed to be. And it goes from something that is interesting but not like super beautiful to a traditional ribbon dress from that area, from Jalisco. These dresses have a lot of movement, and when they dance with them, it's just beautiful. So it went to something more beautiful, and it was so seamless, so professional. That's why it was wowing. It's not just because it was a reveal. It was because it was a reveal that was executed and thought of brilliantly. Then Margaretilla comes out in this outfit about Ciudad de Mexico, talking about like the trash, the smell. She has a pigeon on her head. In the back of the dress, it says, Ciudad de Mexico smells like poop. I thought this was amazing, but it's kind of controversial. I guess that if you have like Drag Race Mexico, you want to sell Mexico as much as possible. And the critiques that the judges gave her were just about the concept. And they kept saying like, yeah, I understand that you are an artist and this is your artistic view and you have a voice about what is going on in your city, in your hometown, and it doesn't always have to be positive. To be fair, like anyone that talks about their hometown in like super positive way, I never trust 100% because it doesn't matter where you're from. There's always going to be something that annoys you a lot and you want to go anywhere else. How can you critique someone because of their artistic view and their artistic idea? Maybe you can say, I don't know, that it wasn't deep enough or it was something. But this concept is not worse than Regina's concept, for example, with everything but the kitchen sink. It was just a not super positive view on her own hometown. And before the queens come, they have a producer go through every single look that they're bringing, how it's going to be, like way before they come into the competition. At least that's how it works here. So if that was going to be judged in a negative way, the producer of the show should have said something before. Galavara's look I thought was super, super cool. I got like the monarch butterfly. Again, Visa and Drag Race Spain just did a monarch butterfly look. I love this interpretation. It looked like a little bit like Effie from the Hunger Games, that butterfly look. But what I didn't understand, and I thought it was so cool that they explained it, is that the body, the dress, was in a like very light pink color, and that's because of her hometown, Morelia, is actually known for having like this pink stone quarry there. So the whole city looks like a very pink stone color. It's similar to what Chanela Norex did in Drag Race España too. I thought this was super cool, super well executed. I love how she could mix those two concepts and not in a like extra busy and nonsensical way, but it all made sense because of like the chrysalis of the butterfly. Very well thought out look. I loved it. Vermeja comes out with this Lele doll look. These are traditional rag dolls, and yeah, she didn't move too much from the original inspiration. And it's true that the skirt was super cool because of how it moved when she spinned, but the rest of the outfit wasn't that wowing. I really liked what she did with the hair, like being that Lily doll. And I don't know, I thought it was a little bit underwhelming because it didn't go all the way. And there was something like creepy or sad or low energy actually about this runway, but it wasn't that bad, you know? Argenis comes out. Argenis is from Ciudad Juarez, and she comes out with a painted thing from Juan Gabriel. I know that singer. He is also like a gay icon here in Spain as well. So very cool, Juan Gabriel. But you know, it's just fabric, like painted fabric. I don't really like that. I would have loved if she had incorporated it in a different way. Like maybe the actual suit that Juan Gabriel used to wear, like the pants, I don't know. Maybe something a little bit different, but because it's just cumbersome. It's just like having a poster right in front of you. But it was a cool reference, cool in general. But then she revealed into this like traditional costume of the Tarahumara people. And these are the references images that I got. And it's true, like Valentina is saying all the time that it looks like a diaper, it looks like a diaper. I think that she could have used that Tarahumara costume in a more effective way. I think that, for example, Matraca would have done something amazing with that concept, but she wasn't able to get it to a fashiony way. But the concepts, the references I thought were cool. The execution was lacking for me. Then Matraca Traca, she comes from León, that's in the area of Guanajuato, and she's referencing La Danza del Torito, the bull dance. I have been studying a little bit about this. So this is a traditional dance in Mexico that is performed in that area. And there are several characters. The story is about a bull that escapes, and there's like a Mexican cowboy that's trying to get him back. And there are several different characters. She is representing like the cowboy's wife. This character is called Maringuia, and this like bull dance, they always wear like masks, and there's like a blending and a mix of like Catholic religion with traditional folklore like stories and characters and people and costumes. So I thought the reference was super cool. The little mask was super spooky. I loved how she chose the fabric. This fabric choice is absolutely amazing. So she's supposed to be this character that is like the cowboy's wife, and they usually have like a red or fuchsia, pink, magenta apron. And they use that for like bullfighting the bull that has escaped. I don't know. I thought that just the fabric and the composition and how everything is positioned is so smart. The reference choice, I loved. This was my favorite look from the whole runway by far. Pixie Pixie comes out as a mariachi, and she is from Ciudad de Mexico, and she's representing the Garibaldi Square. That's a big square where I guess there is a lot of mariachis. So mariachis are not from Ciudad de Mexico, but there are a lot of mariachis in that square. That's what I understood. And you know, Pixie Pixie's whole shtick is that she is black and white, and she put in some red accents here and there to make it a lot more traditional. I think this was a perfectly executed look, but for me, it was so perfectly executed and so easily understandable. And you know, the mariachi is the one thing that everyone understands about Mexico. I love Pixie, don't get me wrong, but I wanted a little more emotion in her reference choice. Like it wasn't anything exciting. It was just executed to perfection. But there wasn't anything that could, I don't know, tell me something, give me more information. Just perfection. I don't strive for perfection in drag queens. I strive for drag queens that make things super, super interesting. And even though this was amazing, don't get me wrong, beautiful look, 10 out of 10, I want to be like interested in something. Last one was Lady Quero, and she is from the region of Zapotec, and they talk a lot about this word, mushe. Mushe is a word that they use in that area of Zapotec to talk about specifically like trans women, but it's one of these huge terms, like it could be in Spain the word travesti, that it's used sometimes for gay men that sometimes like do drag and dress in like women clothes, but I guess it comes from like a more traditional root of not understanding gender in a binary and how normal that is for their native cultures. So mushes would be like a trans woman. I thought that was a super interesting concept. I thought this look was very cool, but I needed like 5 more inches of fabric in the bottom. I didn't like where it cut the length. It made her whole silhouette kind of off. Other than that, I think that she went like too traditional, and it didn't really tell me a lot. It didn't make it super interesting other than the mushe thing. It went like absolutely how it's supposed to be traditionally, and that's it. I would have loved, I don't know, something extra, like tell me something. I don't know if they have equal marriage there. Talk about that. Can mushes get married or not? Talk about like in the native cultures where the gender was not in the binary and how it became something completely binary after colonization, and how some queer movements are taking power from the native roots in order to talk about this gender as a spectrum and not something in the binary. I don't know, tell me like a little bit more, make me get some emotion. She did make me feel emotional when she talked about her mother-in-law and how she would never be able to see her wear this bridal dress. But I want, I don't know, you know what I mean? There's so much to say there about how native cultures understood gender before colonization. There's so much to say about the folklore and the empowerment of people. There's so much to say about everything there that it felt just too aesthetically traditional. That's it. So after that, the queens go back to the untucked, and it was like literally 5 seconds of untucked. But well, that's what we got. And then the judges decide that the winner was Cristian Peralta. I love Cristian. He's one of my favorites. I already said that. But yeah, I would have given it to Matraca. Matraca was in the top, and then in the bottom 3, we had Margaret Illa, which I did not understand. We had Vermella, and we have Miss Vallarta. Did I agree? Not really. And then they lip synced to the song, and the lip sync was very bad. But, you know, I cover Drag Race España. I'm not that, you know, I shouldn't talk about how bad a lip sync is, because here it's usually terrible. This season was good, but we've had things that were terrible. And yeah, sometimes I have this problem with Vermella, especially, that she gets like into herself and she doesn't know how to make herself big and share emotion. I know the judges made this a double Shantae stay and no one is going home. I don't understand why, really. Like, why don't we save that double Shantae for a different week where we're going to need it? I know that you have like a script, like no one was supposed to go home this week. Why don't you just say you can both go away? I don't know. Like, it felt it felt weird. I'm happy for them, don't get me wrong, and it's always good to start with this, they can experience an episode and get into the groove a little bit without anyone going home. But yeah, but so I want to know who your favorites are. At the moment, my favorite has to be Madraka. I'm loving her energy. Also Christian and also Pixie. I love the three of them, but I'm very interested about a bunch of them. I think this season is going to be amazing. Just wait. I know, I can feel it. It looks so good. Like the colors and I don't know, like Drag Race España, I'm so used to it. It has such a harsh filter that you cannot really appreciate everything. And Drag Race Mexico looks amazing. Like the stage is amazing. The workroom is very different to other countries, but it also looks amazing. So yeah, I want to know who your favorites are. I want to know if I lost some of the references, or if you can give me some information about some of the references that I was talking about. If I did everything wrong, if you hate this video, anything whatsoever, you can tell me in the comments below. Remember that if you want to support my channel, you have my PayPal account down below. Thank you so much. So that would be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I want to know what you think. Thank you. Okay, stay queer. Stay queer. Stay queer. Bye-bye.